Hi, and welcome back to the Going For It Sim Studio. Today we're gonna do something that's a little unique. We're gonna talk about the mindset of indoor golf. It's a really interesting one because a lot of folks that come into the studio immediately start comparing indoor to outdoor. And if you start to do that, all you're gonna do is really kind of set up your mind for a little bit of failure. So let's talk about how to go into a simulator and get out what you're looking for, whether that is analytics or just a good time. So it often comes up here in the studio, let's talk about how indoor golf is exactly the same as outdoor golf. Unfortunately, you can't just do that. It's not the same. It really isn't, no matter how much you want to think it is. But it is similar enough that you could utilize a simulator for multiple ways to enjoy the game of golf or improve your game. It's an asset to your game of golf. It's not simply a way for you to play the exact same game as you are outside. Now it's obvious, every single strike that you make on a simulator is off this nice, perfect lie. You're also playing off of a hitting mat, which hitting mats have gotten really good in the last few years. They're a lot safer and they do provide a lot more feedback than say 5 to 10 years ago. But it's still not going to be exactly the same. You know, it is a lot easier to get under a ball on a mat than it is on the grass. You know, I've spent a little bit of time out on the short game area and out on some grass driving ranges so that I could compare my distances in here that I was seeing outside to make sure that with my elevation that it was going to be somewhat accurate so that when I do go out to play my first round of 18 outside, I know my distance are going to be accurate. However, I've immediately seen a few of those differences playing on these mats versus playing on a little bit of grass that I have taken. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Now, the ideal way to go about it is to do both. You have your indoor game supplementing your outdoor game. I am choosing to do it opposite of that. My indoor game is going to supplement my outdoor game because I really enjoy playing golf inside, and it's a lot easier for my personal schedule and financial situation. So how do you take the mindset to be able to walk into a simulator and get the most out of it, right? The first thing to do is when you enter a simulator, whether it's at a sim house, at a friend's house, or your own, don't expect it to be exactly the same. Now, I know that seems really, really obvious, but for some reason, I find a lot of folks seem to struggle a little bit with that. They spend their entire time while playing on the simulator comparing things to outside. Oh, that's not exactly what I see. That's not what my shots do. Well, you know, when you're outside, you don't have perfect lies. You have wind. You have atmospheric changes that completely move the ball different, right? You know, yeah, you can account for those on a simulator. You can add wind. You can change the turf firmness. You can do all kinds of stuff that'll make it close and it's fun. But it's never going to be exactly what it is because what you have is multiple high-speed cameras or a Doppler system, depending on what technology you're using, reading the impact that you're doing off of a perfect lie. So in reality, it's a lot more accurate than what you're getting outside. Now, I know that's hard to wrap your head around, but you're talking computer telling the ball what it's doing versus all of the variables that come with outside. So if you are one who you're going to utilize your simulator to improve your swing, that's what you're focusing on right now. You're getting lessons. You want to utilize those lessons in an atmosphere that's controlled to be able to take home that data, right? You just have to go into it understanding you're working on your game, okay? Yeah, the ball flight may look a little bit different, but it won't look terribly different. And what you're trying to get here is you're trying to get the distances somewhat correct so you have your gaps. Then you're able to work on a nice consistent pattern with your mechanics. So if you're focused on that, you're using the data to compare what you're working on at that moment, you're going to have a much better experience here inside of a simulator, regardless of the technology you're using. The second thing you can do is if you just want to come in here and have a good time, you just want to, it's winter, you want to play the game that you love so much, you want to have fun with your friends, you want whatever it is, then just completely check out of what you expect it to do when you're playing outside and play the simulator golf course as you're there that day. Just have a really good time. for the most part, your distances are going to be correct as long as the simulator is set up correctly. You're still going to be able to make the shots you generally can, whether you're trying to shape it or whatever you want to do. And you're going to be able to have a good time with course management, right? If you walk into a simulator and you're playing 18 holes and you're just smashing the ball at the flag every time, you're probably going to score pretty low because it's easier, right? You don't have to worry about the rough and the sand shots, and there's all those variables that you don't have to worry about anymore. It's almost the exact same shot every time, and it can get redundant. And if you play a lot, it can just kind of get a little bit boring. If you're walking into that round and you're like, okay, I'm going to play this round exactly as I would outside. Now, I just told you to forget about how you play outside. I think talking more about the actual golf swing. Okay, now we're going to migrate from playing golf swing to playing golf when you're on a simulator. You're going to look at the hole that you're on and you're going to pretend that you're there outside. Okay, you're going to look at your obstacles and you're going to say, okay, if I was really here, this is how I would hit it. I would lay up here, or I would need to avoid the danger on the right and make sure that I miss left. That's how you're going to want to approach that round so that you're actually getting a benefit out of it. Because what's that benefit? Is you're learning course management. Now, there's no penalty. So if you decide that you're just having a good time on this round and you want to take that tiger line, or you're going to go for the green in 2 on a par 5 over water, go ahead and do it. That's why you're in a simulator. About Golf has a really cool practice mode that you could put it on, and you could hit that shot as many times as you want to see, hey, if I'm hitting over the water with a 10-mile-an-hour northwest wind, how many times am I going to hit that little tiny green? You know, say you've got a long club. Those are hard to hit. But out of 10 times, you do it 9 times. You know what? When you go outside, you could think about that and say, hey, I've done it. I know I can make that shot 9 out of 10 times. I'm going for it today. So what you're doing is you're learning course management. You're understanding your misses a lot more in a nice controlled environment. And then you're not just playing sim golf. You're actually playing a round of golf inside the sim. That has been my experience of what you can actually do with a simulator golf course and be able to enjoy it mentally a heck of a lot more than just sitting here and comparing, oh, that's not what I tried to do, or that's this, and I know I can hit this shot. You got to take it for what it's worth. Take out the comparisons, take the indoor golf round for what it is, and look, I promise you, you're going to have a lot more fun, and you're going to be able to leave that sim time with a smile on your face, knowing you got some good practice in, or just a dang good time with your buddies. Go find a sim house near you, find somebody that you know that has a sim, and put it to the test. Test what I'm saying. Just check out, just have a great time. Try to work on course management. Learn your misses, learn your distances. That way, when you go out to the course, you're going to have a much better time. I promise you. Until next time, enjoy practicing.